Good morning. My name is Brian Brim, and today I'll be presenting my 45-minute presentation for Fire Chapter 1 and 2 on fire behavior. So, during this presentation, there will be 5 sections. Section 1 is fire. Section 2 is heat, transfer, and smoke. Section 3 is extinguishers. Section 4 is BTU, and calorie. Section 5 is flashover, backdraft, and flashpoint. So, some terminology for this presentation. I'm going to go with fire, smoke, BTU, calorie, flashover, backdraft, and flashpoint. So section 1, let's get started. What is fire? Fire is a rapid oxidation of fuel or a substance that produces heat, light, and visible products of combustion. So in this diagram we have here, the fire is made up of three elements: heat, fuel, and oxygen. And without one of these elements, fire cannot be created. So for our first element, we have heat. Heat is the energy necessary to increase the temperature of fuel to where sufficient vapors are given off for ignition to occur. Next element we have is oxygen. Oxygen is the air we breathe. It's about 21% oxygen, and fire only needs 16%. So therefore, fire can ignite pretty fastly because it doesn't need to take that much oxygen to ignite. So then we have fuel. Right here, fuel, any combustible material, solid, liquids, or gas. So example for fuel, we're talking about grass, dry grass, paper, gasoline. These are types of fuel for fires to make them grow. So, and this is the diagram. So fire, each of these three elements must be present at the same time to have a fire. A fire will not burn with one of these elements removed from it. That's very important. A lot of people should know that. So, stages of fire. Different stages of fire. First we have your incipient, your growth, fully developed, and then you have your decay. So incipient. Incipient is fuel, oxygen, and heat joined together in a sustained chemical reaction. At this stage, a fire extinguisher can control the fire. So this would be like, a piece of paper on fire on the ground or something along those lines. You could easily take an extinguisher and extinguish the fire at the source. So as you can see right here, this is a picture. This is a picture of a fire incipient stage. As you can see, these guys have an extinguisher and they extinguish the fire at the base. So that's what a fire looks like in the incipient stage. So growth. With the initial growth, what is growth? With the initial flames, as a heat source, additional fuel ignites. Convection and radiation ignite more surfaces, and the size of the fire increases, and then fumes reaches the ceiling. And this is very important when talking about fire behavior, because growth is when the fire gets really, growing inside a structure. So it's very dangerous. So this is a picture of example of growth. As you can see, the sofa is on fire and it's getting on the walls and reaching to the ceiling. There's thick, black, heavy smoke on the ceiling. So that's very important when talking about fire behavior, because as firefighters, they need to get in there, extinguish the fire, and save the victim as quickly as possible. So next we have fully developed. Fire has spread over much, if not all, the available fuel. Temperatures reaches their peak, resulting in heat damage. Oxygen is consumed rapidly. So that's when this is when firefighters typically want to get out the structure because it's really hot. It's getting hot, and it's very dangerous. And this is usually when a flashover happened, but we'll talk about that later on in the presentation. So this is what a fully developed fire looks like. As you can see, everything is burning. There's really heavy smoke. If a firefighter were to go in there, he would probably die. So it's very dangerous situation to be in. So decay. What is decay? Decay, the fire consumes all available fuel. Temperatures decrease, fire gets less intense. So this is when everything's just burning, and it's consuming all the fuel, and you see a whole bunch of black stuff everywhere. So that's how you know it's in the decay stage. But the fire is still hot and it could reignite. So it's very important you put it out when this happens. So this is an example of decay. As you can see, the structure has completely burned, It's still giving off some smoke, but it's completely burned. This is usually when overhaul starts. Yeah, overhaul. That's when checking for hidden fires and stuff like that. So this is where that usually starts, and that's very important to know because the fire, like I said earlier, the fire can restart, that's very dangerous. So fire classification. So we have 5 classes of fire. You have Class A, Class B, Class C, Class D, and Class K. So Class A fires. Class A fires involve common combustibles such as wood, paper, and cloth, and rubber, trash, and plastics. They are common in typical commercial home settings, but can occur anywhere these types of materials are found. So, for example, we have trash cans. Trash cans is a big number. You have your grasslands and stuff like that. Those are Class A fires. So to prevent Class A fires, you want to make sure you keep storage and working areas free of trash. Place oily rags in covered containers. When you work on cars, whatever, make sure you place those in covered containers or dispose of them properly. Class A is represented by a green triangle. So this is just a diagram of what it looks like. This is an example of a Class A fire. Like I said earlier, paper on fire. You can see the newspaper on fire. So that's an example of a Class A fire. Class B fires. Class B fires involve flammable liquids, gases, solvents, and oil, gasoline, paint, liquors, tars, and other synthetic oil-based products. Class B fires often spread rapidly unless properly secured and can reflash after flames are extinguished. So a lot of times you can't really see So a lot of times if you see gasoline on fire, you just see the flames. You don't really see the gasoline on fire because what's actually burning is the vapors coming from the gasoline. So it's very important to know. To prevent Class B fires, don't refuel gasoline powder equipment in confined spaces in the presence of an open flame or while the equipment is hot. So that's when you're refilling a lawnmower. Make sure the lawnmower is not hot or smoking or whatever. You just make sure because you want to make sure it's safe. To keep flammable liquids stored in tightly closed containers and away from spark producing sources. That's very important and annoying. Class B is represented by a red square, and this is what it looks like. As you can see, in this example of Class B fires, more or less the liquid vapors are on fire rather than the actual ground. So that's very important to know. Class C fires. So Class C fires involve energized electrical equipment such as wiring, controls, motors, data processing panels, or appliances. They can be caused by a spark, powder surge, or short circuit, and typically occur in locations that are difficult to reach and see. So, for example, we have people that love to use extension cords, but they heat up and they could spark and cause a fire. So that's very important to know. To prevent Class C fires, investigate any appliances or electrical equipment that smell strange. Like if you smell smoke coming from it, you want to take it out and throw it away as quickly as possible to prevent fire. Unusual odors can be first sign of potential fire. Utility lights should always have some type of wired guard over them. So Class C fires are represented by a blue circle, and that's very important in knowing that. And this is an example of a Class C fire. As you can see, the outlet is on fire, so that's very dangerous, and that could spread very, very rapidly.